Good morning, students. Now we'll see the preference share. Preference share is also commonly known as preferred stock or a special type of shares where dividend are paid to the shareholder. Investors who have been in the stock market for longer than most after preference share type, the dividend earned on these shares are significantly higher than the ordinary share. The features of the preference shares are preference in asset, dividend payout, dividend preference, voting right, convertibility, callability. The types of preference shares are cumulative preference shares, non-cumulative preference shares, redeemable preference shares and the irredeemable preference share, participating preference shares, and so on. The advantages of the preference shares are no dilution of control. This type of financing allows insurance to avoid or defer the dilution of control. No obligation for dividend. The shares do not force insurer to pay dividend to shareholder. For example, if the company does not have enough fund to pay dividend, it may just defer the payment. Flexibility of term. The company's management enjoy the flexibility to set up almost any terms for the share. Secured position in the case of the company's liquidation. Investor with preferred stocks are in the more secure position relative to common shareholder in the event of liquidation. Fixed income. These shares provide the shareholder with a fixed income in the form of dividend payment. The disadvantages of preference shares is limited capital appreciation, lack of voting right, dividend non-guarantee, lower liquidity, callable nature. In the limited capital appreciation, preference shareholders generally do not benefit from the significant capital gain. Lack of voting right, preference shareholders typically do not have voting right in the company. Dividend non-guarantee, although preference shares offer fixed dividend, these are not guaranteed if the company faces financial difficulties. In the lower liquidity, preference shares are generally less liquid compared to the equity shares. Callable nature. Many preference shares are callable, meaning the issues company can repurchase them at predetermined price. The methods of redemption of preference shares are fresh issues of share, capitalization of undistributed profit, combination of both A and B. Now we'll see the redemption of preference share. Redemption is the process of repaying an obligation at pre-arrangement amount and timings. It is a contract given the right to redeem preference shares within the end of the given time period on the agreed price. The purpose of issuing redeemable preference shares. A company may issue redeemable preference shares because of the following. It is a proper way of raising funds in a dull primary market. A company may face difficulty in raising share capital as the shares are not easily be sold, may be encouraged to invest in shares are redeemable by the company. The provision of the Companies Act section 55 says a company limited by shares is so authorized by its article may issue preference shares which are the option of the company. This is the accounting journal entries for the new fresh issues. When new shares are issued at par, bank account data to share capital. When new shares are issued at a premium, bank account data to share capital account to security premium. When preference shares are redeemed at par, redeemable preference share capital account data to preference shareholders account. When preference shares are redeemed at a premium, redeemable preference share capital account data to premium on redemption of preference share account data to preference shareholders account. When payment is made to the preference shareholders, preference shareholder account data to bank account. Now we'll see this journal entry for this sum. Hinduja Company Limited has 5,000, 8% redeemable preference shares of 100 each fully paid up. The company decided to redeem these preference shares at par by the issues of sufficient number of equity share of 10 each fully paid up at par. You are required to prepare the necessary journal entries including cash transaction in the book of the company. So bank account data 5 lakh to equity share capital 5 lakh for the purpose of redemption of preference share. 8% redeemable preference share capital account data to preference shareholders 5 lakh, that is the redemption of preference share transfer to the preference shareholders account. Preference shareholders account data to bank 5 lakh, that is amount paid on redemption of preference share. Now we'll see one more sum. C Limited had 10,000, 10% redeemable preference shares of 100 each, fully paid up. The company decided to redeem these preference shares at par by issue of sufficient number of equity shares of 10 each at a premium of 2 per shares as a fully paid. So the journal entry is uh, for the board of resolution, that is the passing board of resolution, the bank account data to equity share capital to security premium, and the redemption of preference share transfer to the preference shareholders is 10% redeemable preference capital account data to redeem preference shareholder. The amount paid on redemption of preference share is preference shareholder account data to bank account. Another sum, G Limited had 9,000, 10% redeemable preference share, 10 each fully paid. The company designed to redeem these preference share at par by issue of sufficient number of equity shares, 9 each fully paid. So the journal entry is bank account data to equity share capital, that is the issue of 10,000 equity shares at par. And for the redemption of preference share transfer to the preference shareholder is redeemable preference share capital account data to preference shareholder. And the amount paid on redemption of preference share is preference shareholder account data to bank account. Thank you.